We have three men in our readings today. One filled with joy. Another one who was miserable, and he knew it, but he attained joy. And then there's another one who wasn't joyful at all, but he didn't even know it. He didn't even know what joy was. He was so caught up into himself. The first one is St. Paul, full of joy. You wouldn't think that he would be, given his circumstances, because he was in prison. And not only that, but he was aging, old, filled with aches and pains, and he was about ready to be sacrificed, like an oblation. In the old sacrifices, it'd be a pouring out of wine or oil, a libation to God. He likened his life as that. He's pouring himself out for Jesus. He said he has run a good race and that he's looking forward to a reward, a crown. And he looks back at his life and he looks what's ahead of him and he's just filled with joy. The other one was in the parable of Jesus, and it's a tax collector. And a tax collector in that culture was hated by everyone. He was no doubt Jewish. He was taxing his own people to give money to the Romans. He was rich, no doubt, but he was confused about his life. Why am I even doing this? What's my life all about anyways? I'm hated by everyone and I hate myself. And he goes to the temple. He said, Lord, have mercy upon me, a sinner. And Jesus said, he went home justified. He found joy. Justified. And then there's the Pharisee who, on the outside, does everything right. He does all his prayers at the right time. He gives a tithe, and he gives also alms to the poor. And, he's just so satisfied with himself, full of presumption, and he is the furthest thing away from joy. Now, I want to share a little bit with you about my own joy. And some of you know that in 2012, I became Catholic. And in 2013, I became a priest. In 2014, I came on staff here at the church. Now, actually, up to that point, I was unemployed because I had left my past life and entering into the Catholic world, which I didn't even know much about. I have no idea why Father Neville hired me. I just have no idea. I didn't know anything about what's going on in the church. But he did. And for 6 years, I worked here, on staff. And, Father Paul, what a wonderful soul. He retired. And then I thought that Father David was going to be the one who would come and be the priest after Father Neville, but he got called to a whole different thing. And then finally, Father Neville, after 10 years, said, well, we're out, We've been here for 10 years, and the Marianists can know, I became pastor here because I was just the last one standing. And that happened in 2020. And this church is so I know when it comes to the Catholic world, it's the only Catholic church I know. And I'm going to be here unless they kick me out or, I don't expect to retire anytime soon. I might not be the pastor, but I hope to be the senior priest here. I'm all into this church until they roll me down the aisle. My home. And what a joy it is for me just to pour out my life as a libation here. My time, treasure, and talent. It's just such a joy to be with you. I love this church. I love you. I love what's going on here, what the Holy Spirit is doing. I am all in. Just all in. What a privilege it is to be with you and to worship with you and live the life that we do, the vision that God's given us. So you might have been seeing this cup around for a while, right? And this cup represents 1 cup of coffee a week, right? And what I'm asking you, I know 80% of our congregation does not give regularly, and I'm not here to make you feel embarrassed or shamed about that. But I would really like you to think about today committing yourself to a $4 cup of coffee, to sacrifice that sometime in your week. And that's in the course of a month, $16, maybe $20 if there's 5 weeks in the month. And you might say, well, Father John, that's really kind of a small sacrifice. And I want to say this to you about, I have no idea what what any of you give to the church, okay? I don't look at the books, okay? And I treat everybody the same, okay? So some people feel guilty. Oh, Father John knows what I haven't the foggiest idea. But even if you commit yourself to something as small as this, I'll tell you what, God can do great things with a small sacrifice. Because sacrifice is worship. It's a way of pouring yourself out to God, and God will respect that. And so what I'd like to have you do is just pass the card. Those are on the end there. And I just would, this is why I'm asking this. It's because I know that if you do this, even if you are giving regularly, even to add that amount each week, I know that it will bring you great joy. Because we're made for love, and love is sacrifice. And so I'd like to have you fill that out, and we can hand it to the usher or put it into the plate. Do the QR code, get in on Faith Direct, you know, and make this just a part of our life together, right? So I'll wait for just a little bit here. It doesn't take you long to do that. And, yep. Well, thank you. You know, it'd probably do your health good if you did give up 1 cup of coffee a week. Remember, it will bring you great joy.